actually, do you know what? This is going to be a bombshell. I would much prefer to spend £90 on that than the £50. Today's rum tasting, we are slightly raising the stakes. This rum wouldn't normally feature on my channel, but there's a little story of why. That's coming up in a second. But this is the Chairman's Reserve 1931. Should be globally available. I've had it a few times before, but I've never been able to enjoy it at home and really get a feel for it. Hello rum fans, welcome back to the channel. But for those of you that are new around these parts, hello, my name is Steve the Barman, and right here on the Blue channel I mainly focus on rum tastings. Each month we take a different country in turn. We start off with the cheaper rums, going up to the more expensive rums, all the time trying to keep within my budget of 50 UK pounds, 60 US dollars, 60 euros. I never really want to go over that too much, and then kind of find my favorite rums for mixing, for cocktails, my favorite rums for sipping neat. So if that sounds like fun, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But don't forget, I've now got 5 other YouTube channels, all with their own specific niches, all attracting different audiences. So if you want to find out more about those, they will be linked in the description below. Right then, Chairman's Reserve 1931. As I say, this wouldn't normally feature, and actually, you know, when it comes to monetary and how much these next rums cost, I would normally actually finish the deep dives here. But there is one Admiral Rodney out of the 3 that kind of would loosely fit into this price category. And I didn't think it was fair looking at one of the Admiral Rodneys without taking on the Chairman's Reserve 1931, and actually without looking at the other 2 Admiral Rodneys. So for the next 2 videos, you will have seen, or may have, the astute ones may have seen the paid promotion little button checks. You might have seen that at the start. There's no money changed hands here, but I do have to give a big shout out to Dave Marsland, Mr. kind of Chairman's Reserve or British ambassador. He's been Chairman's Reserve rum ambassador here in the UK for God knows how long. Good friend, good lad. Been on this channel a couple of times, I think, talking about rums. Knows them inside out. And he has very kindly sent me, so we've got the 1931 here, because I'll tell you the price, it's quite expensive. And he's actually hooked me up with the other 2 Admiral Rodneys that I don't have as well. So big thanks to Dave. We can taste these without spending nearly £100 on each of these bottles. Now, what makes these next 4 rums, especially this one, special? Why are they different to what's gone before them? As I say, Chairman's Reserve, let's just focus on Chairman's Reserve here for a second. Chairman's Reserve don't do age statements. They're all about blending, but they do different things while they're blending. And you might say, well, all rum brands are all about the blending. Yes, they are, but they don't put the emphasis on it like Chairman's Reserve do, or like St Lucia distillers do. Now, what this is primarily sort of 1931, and in years past, probably up till mid 2015, 2016, I think it may have been slightly earlier than that. In years past, there were different 1931s. They had different finishes, different cask finishes, different ages going on here. Now they've standardized it because they have brought the bounty to life. They have got the Admiral Rodneys as well. So they have standardized it, but they are bringing special release Chairman's Reserves to market. Now, what makes this one special, I'll get to it now, is that actually, while this is primarily molasses based, there is actually a blend of sugar cane juice in here as well. Now, on St Lucia, they don't have the abundance of cane juice or anything like that. They have small cane fields growing there, so they can produce agricultural rum, if you like. They can produce it, but not to mass extent. But as I've said in previous videos, Spiribam, the owners of St Lucian distillers, do own Rum JM and Rum Clement as well from Martinique. So there will be lots of cross projects going along in the future, you know, where they've got cane juice agricole rums going into the blend here. But for this one, this is as they actually call it, agricole rum from St Lucia that's blended in here. So we've got molasses, we've got cane juice in here. We've got a blend of the different stills as well. We've got the column coffee still, and I think I'm right in saying this is the John Doe 2, but I'm not 100% on that. It's definitely a blend of the column still and a couple of the pot stills that go into here. But when it comes to the aging, we've got ex-bourbon and we've got export casks as well. And I know a lot of people get hung up on ages and how old is it and all this. Look, as I say, we can have a loose term of what's gone on here. It's 6 years old to 11-year-old rums in here, but we don't know whether the port has been 11-year-old or 6-year-old. We don't know whether the port is maybe 8-year-old. We don't know the specific DNAs in here. It's just a blend of different rums that have been aged differently, that have been distilled differently. The youngest rums in the blend are 6 years old. The oldest rums are 11 years old. After that, I don't really care. How's it taste? I'm not transfixed by like a 10-year-old rum or a 12-year-old rum. I just don't want it to be that heavily aged in like wet, soggy wood. I don't want that. As long as it ain't got wet, soggy wood, game on. Now, DNA out of the way, let's talk prices. And as I say, this is a little bit expensive, but I'm firmly believe from what I've tasted of this before down at Black Parrot. Hello, Brady. I've this with a couple of times that I've had it. Never at rum festivals, actually. It's always been at Black Parrot in London. The price of this, we're approaching £90 here in the UK. I've got the prices here listed. This is from my friends at Master of Malt. If you were going to buy a full-size 70 CL bottle, you're actually talking £88.99, so £89 here in the UK. And that translates to 113, well, virtually nearest damn it, 113 US dollars, 102 euros, and then my other two big audiences, 166 nearly 166.5 Australian dollars and 149.5 Canadian dollars. So we have got quite a healthy step up from something like the Chairman's Reserve Forgotten Casks, but actually it does kind of nestle in between or round about the high-end Admiral Rodneys. So on the nose, the first thing I really got straight away was, oh, there's that port. But it's very quickly disappeared. I can't smell it now, but the first instance was there. What I smell now is honey. I get this lovely honey-soaked, raisiny kind of vibe going on. Caramel toffee vibe, but luxurious caramel toffee vibe going on there. Does the aroma give me any nod to how old this rum is? No, it's not putting me off at all. It's inviting. I really want to dive into this. If I smelt this, I'm not thinking, oh, here we go. Yeah, this is go. This to me smells light, fun, tropical. It's those honeyed sort of, I'm probably a little bit of stone fruity vibe going on there. The only other one little touch I might add, that port is gone. Definitely, I can't smell the port now. I might be getting a little bit of tobacco or a little bit of spice or something like that, maybe leather or something around those lines. I know they're very different, but it is honey and it's inviting and it makes me want to dive in for a sip. Oh wow. Now that is, or I can get used to this actually, that is virgin on the spice, the burn. That is virgin on being a little bit too full-bodied bit for me, a little bit too oaky, but it's not there. It's definitely not wet, soggy wood. It's light, it's vibrant, it's juicy, it's caramelly, more, what's the dessert? Creme brulee, vanilla-y. It's kind of, oh, that is really juicy as well. It's really got my sort of taste buds going around the gums. That's actually really tasty. Now, for me in this, there isn't this nod to cane juice. I don't get floralness. I don't get grassy herbaceousness. But I do get this light zinginess. And it's kind of this, oh, there's another posh word coming out here, amalgamation. It's kind of this amalgamation between this heavier, more robust, chewy kind of rum with this light, fruity, vanilla-y kind of thing going on. The finish is really, do you know what? I could get totally used to drinking that. It wouldn't be my first go-to, but I could get totally used to drinking this. I'm going to bring out the buttery word as well. It's this kind of luxuriousness that I kind of get from that. I don't mean it in thick, buttery kind of way. It's hard to explain what I mean by that, but it's, oh, that is really delicious. This is the thing with St Lucian rums. And I don't know whether it's just because I like to back the underdog and I make no secrets about that, but for me, they just excite me. And I've said it 2 or 3 times in this series. They just excite me a hell of a lot more than what Barbados rums do. I've not had a Barbados rum that tastes even remotely similar to that, let alone the Forgotten Casks. It's just all these different layers going off, and it's just super enjoyable drink. Actually, the closest Barbados rum that I could get to this might have been, I'm not even sure it's behind it now, the Mount Gay, the XO. But even then, because of the body of this, because of the different dimensions to this, I just prefer St Lucian rum. I think that's the be all and end all. So look, the more sophisticated palates amongst you would probably bring out that cane juice. It is probably that lightness and that zinginess that actually more people would probably kind of pick out. Sort of, actually, do you know what? If I actually compare this in my head to like the Rum JM and the aged agricoles, in my head, I'm thinking, when I think agricole and cane juice, I'm thinking that white sort of grassy herbaceousness. If I actually do compare that to like a Rum JM or a bit more aged, what have I got up there? Trois Rivières and things like that. Actually, I actually do get the sort of reference to cane juice there. It's not Martinique, it's not agricole, but it's more along those lines. In my head, sort of stupidly went to white unaged cane juice, and no, I don't get anything like that. But there is this light zinginess, the honey. Look, I'm going to sum this up at nearly £90. This is very expensive, but do you know what? Just on that, and I would love. I've got enough there. Thank you very much, Dave, for another couple of sort of slugs at that. I would potentially put that up there. And again, stupidly, I don't know why I'm making this comparison. I would probably, as much as I enjoy this, the Havana Selection de Maestros, again, incomparable really, but that's where my head is. That, for me, is a very delicious, neat sipper. And there is just something in my mind where, yes, £90 is quite expensive, but I think I would much prefer to spend, actually, do you know what? This is going to be a bombshell. I would much prefer to spend £90 on that than the £50 on the RLC or 10-year-old. As bonkers as that sounds, I'm sold on that. I really enjoy that. Now, to sum up and to finish this whole St Lucian series off, watch this video next, because now I'm doing the 3 head-to-head, or the 3-way head-to-head of the what are they called? Admiral Rodney rums.